18th. As a reminder, this is a public meeting and is being recorded. For those of you calling in, please mute your phone line. Thank you. First, we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner O'Grady.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
October is Adopt a Shelter Dog Month, and here in Franklin County, we've got the largest and best dog shelter in the region. Our shelter takes in nearly 10,000 dogs per year and has more than 100 of all ages, sizes, and breeds available for adoption at any given time. We're proud of all the work that our dog shelter has done to achieve a 90% live release rate, which qualifies it as a no-kill shelter, and also of all of the important community services it provides, such as the Snippet program, which offers free spay and neutering services for eligible dog owners receiving public assistance. The Community Pet Pantry provides food and other supplies for pet owners who are experiencing temporary financial challenges. Community outreach programs such as the Junior Dog Warden program, which focuses on youth safety and pet owner responsibility, and the free vaccinations, microchips, and other resources that we're able to offer to dog owners in need so that we can help them continue to care for their pets and keep them out of the shelter. We're also proud to be a part of a thriving and active community of dog advocates here in Franklin County, and we wouldn't do any of our work without our dedicated animal care and control staff and our more than 800 shelter volunteers who freely give their time to make the days brighter for all of the pups in our care. And now here to tell us more about the shelter and how you can adopt a new best friend, we have the Assistant Director of Animal Care and Control, Dwayne Young. Good morning.
Right. Good morning. Good morning. And thank you, Commissioner Crawley, and to our other two esteemed commissioners, Boyce and O'Grady. Thank you for having us and acknowledging October as the Adopt a Shelter Dog Month. Unfortunately, Franklin County has no shortage of stray dogs roaming around our county, so we have plenty of dogs for you to choose from down at the shelter. We have over 100 dogs available for adoption and right under 200 dogs that are in our shelter as a whole. Now, somebody asked me earlier this week, what is a good adopter? What makes a good or perfect adopter? And I just simply said a family or a person who has space in their hearts and space in their home for a new furry family member. And that's really all that it takes, is love and a desire to have a dog in your family as a part of your children. If you are a single person, it's a good way to attract friends and potential lovers. You know what I'm saying? So, there are many reasons where you should adopt a dog versus shopping for a dog. Also, another benefit that you get from coming to Franklin County Animal Care and Control is that the dog will come spayed or neutered, like Wilma here, spayed, microchipped, and all their up-to-date vaccines. And if they do have any type of injury, illness, or sickness, we will be treating it at the shelter. But also, once you adopt, we'll send you home with some medication to finish that treatment. If you're not sure, because some folks are like, I haven't owned a dog in a long time, or I'm not sure, I'm a first-time dog owner. We're here, Animal Control and our staff, we're here to support you in that. So if you have behavior or training questions, we have staff and volunteers that are ready and available to answer those questions and help facilitate those issues. But also, if you have any issues with getting food, maybe you were able to afford food for a long period of time for your dog, but you fell on hard times, we have a pet food pantry that's supplied by the community, and it goes right back out to the community. So again, October is Adopt a Shelter Dog Month. We have plenty of cute dogs like little Wilma here for you to choose from. Come to the shelter, 4340 Tamarack Boulevard, and one of our adoption counselors will just simply ask you, hey, what type of dog are you looking for? Are you a couch potato type person? Are you a runner? We've got the perfect dog for you. We'll make a match, send you home, foster to adopt, or adopt on the spot. All right, and that's all I have for y'all today. Thank you again for having us, and come visit us again at 4340 Tamarack Boulevard.
How old is Wilma?
Wilma is 3 years old, and she is looking for a home. You looking for another dog, Commissioner?
I am looking for. I don't need another dog. I got 2 dogs. I got 2 furry pups. But my mother, I've been looking for my mom for a little one, and Wilma is so cute. So
Yeah,
let's chat.
okay. I'll put a note in. Wilma, you've got a home? There you go.
Hey, we can just seal this deal right now.
Yeah,
I don't
we
even know why you need to wait. Let's just,
We can.
You
you
can
know,
foster
just
to
seal the
adopt.
deal,
I got a
man.
bag for her and
You got
everything.
papers
Oh,
and
okay.
everything.
All right. Well, yeah.
I'll save it for you.
Look,
Yeah, I'll talk to you.
Look, look.
Because I know if you take Wilma back, Wilma will be gone. I've been to the shelter twice.
Well,
and
I'll put a note in that
they-
there is a special interest.
Yeah, because the little ones go fast.
They do.
And
but
so-
why can't you just, like, why can't you do it now? Like, what's the,
I mean,
what's the
so
process?
here we go.
Yeah, I mean, you know, what's the process?
So October is also National Bullying Prevention Month.
Listen,
I'm just joking.
I don't
can't
know,
do
no
it. What,
peer
I'm gonna take
pressure,
Wilma
but,
up here right now. I will take Wilma. I will.
Wonderful.
See,
There we go.
I
We
mean,
got,
this,
we
I
got
thought we
at
were
least
already
a
good.
foster to adopt home.
We, yeah.
look,
Yes.
the minute I saw you in the audience, I knew
I'm
she was
saying
going to
yes.
do it. I
That's
knew
my
she was
thing.
going to do it. And I was like, between her and John, one of them going to take this dog home. I'm absolutely confident of it. So,
Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
Because my mom's been holding on to my dog since I've been traveling. I have a golden doodle and a boxer, and I'm going to get them this weekend. And I've been trying to. I know it's going to be hard. She's had them for a month and a half, and I've been looking, and I haven't seen a small dog at
Look
the
no
shelter.
further. Here she is.
All right.
look at that.
Well,
Such
they,
a sweetheart.
all right.
Thanks.
So they do a great job at the shelter. We have our second shelter dog. It's been 15 years we've been working with the shelter to my family, and they do a great job. You go up and sit down and talk to them. They talk to the family, figure out what it is that you're looking for, what you need. Work with your kids. Both times, the folks at the shelter worked with our kids to figure out what kind of family we were, what kind of needs we had. First time we got a big dog. Daphne was with us for almost 10 years, and then this time we got Nala, who's a tiny dog, and we just we've had great success, and they just do a fantastic job up there.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Yeah, I will say it's a great experience to come to the animal shelter. I haven't been there in a long time, maybe a year or two, but to just see. But I love how they have the dogs categorized, and I always like the shy dogs. They have the section for shy dogs, and the dogs are so shy. They'll just be like, you talk to them, they won't come out, and then you got this little cute little guy here. Man, I'm tempted, but no way.
Well, if you can't, tell your friends, tell your family members, tell anybody around you. Come on down to the shelter, and they can volunteer or foster to adopt or decide to adopt. But October is the month to really, put awareness to our homeless pets that we have in our community that's looking for a new loving home.
And my mom has 2 as well from the shelter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I hope she's not watching this because she'll be inspired to get another one, and that would not be a
Come
good
on down.
idea. So,
All right.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thanks, Dwayne.
what a cutie!
Right?
He's such a little
Aw.
cutie. Look at him.
All right, this is also Stormwater Awareness Week. Here to tell us about that and about how we can take small actions as individuals to make a big impact in protecting drinking water for our community is Jennifer Fish, Director of the Franklin Soil and Water Conservation District. Welcome, Jennifer.
Tough act to follow.
Stormwater, yeah, it is. You are correct there. Stormwater Awareness Week has grown to a statewide event and increases the awareness of stormwater. In Franklin County this week, we have events such as storm drain art, tree plantings, invasive plant removals, and more. Stormwater is the rainwater that runs off our land and into our storm drains directly into our rivers, carrying with it pollution and trash. In urban areas, there are fewer green areas, trees, plants to soak up that rainwater, so larger storm events result in flooding and stream erosion. We need to find every opportunity to soak in the rainwater with native plants, rain gardens, trees, and more. A good example of this is the Franklin County Common Police Court, right across the way, actually that way. where they have the green roof and they have rain garden collection system where they can reuse the water. At Franklin Stormwater, we continue to build on our education, technical, and incentives for businesses and residents on developed and developing land, because we know that for a sustainable future, we need to do more than the minimum stormwater standards if we're going to have a sustainable future. With climate change and increased population, we are only going to see more stormwater runoff. We work closely with the Franklin County Drainage Engineer's Office on stormwater, and Jim Ramsey, riparian and environmental engineer, is here.
Morning, Commissioners, and thank you for having us here today to talk about this topic a little bit. As Jennifer mentioned, in the time of climate change, we certainly need to deal with it on a local perspective, but it's also a global problem to deal with, and global factors are influencing stormwater, flooding, and runoff. So this morning I did a quick search of the word flood on a popular news media outlet, and it yielded titles like Nigeria flood death toll tops 600 as thousands evacuate, deadly flash flooding batters Greek island of Crete, floods inundate Australia as the country battles extreme weather. It rained like never before, quote from a Pakistani flood survivor, and UN ups flood aid appeal as Pakistan enters second wave of death, and the city of Sydney records the wettest year since records began in 1858. The thing about that search is those were the articles that came up in the past month on that news media outlet. It's initially I was going to look for the whole year, but when I looked at the month, I thought that's plenty to deal with. Then I did an alternate search of the word drought and yielded similar results. So it seems clear that extreme weather is happening now. We failed to prevent climate change completely, so now we need to minimize it and deal with the consequences of it. Currently, we're in the process of updating the Franklin County Stormwater Drainage Manual, and where manuals like ours have always been based on a historic static set of data, most likely as we move forward, we're going to make an allowance for applying the most up-to-date rainfall data. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration is the producer of the data that most people use for stormwater manuals and things like that and for standards, and they're currently updating that data. And with the next rollout, it will likely include projections for rainfall, because what's happening is there's always been some change in the climate and rainfall, but it's been slow enough that you could use static data and it'd work, and it's moving forward. And so we're dealing with a faster changing climate than what has historically been the case. 2022 is also the 50th anniversary of the Clean Water Act. In 1972, that was passed, and we've made great progress eliminating some of the most significant point sources and some of the most significant environmental disasters, such as the Cuyahoga River catching fire multiple times, including the 1969 fire that prompted passage of the Clean Water Act. Continuing to make progress in Ohio, now working on non-point source pollution through the H2O program, working to solve problems like harmful algae blooms, nutrient pollution, and failing septic system. But there's still more to do. It's currently 5 garbage patches in the world's oceans, 2 in the Pacific, 2 in the Atlantic, and 1 in the Indian Ocean. And as we hear a lot about in Ohio, in 2021, the Lake Erie algal bloom covered 530 square miles. That is equivalent to the size of Franklin County, which is 544 square miles. Equivalent to our county, which is 544 square miles. But our water drains to the Gulf of Mexico, and the dead zone in the Gulf of Mexico was nearly 12 times the size of Franklin County. So as we move forward, we have made progress, but as a community and a society, we need to continue to participate and help to solve these problems locally, doing what we can locally and calling on other folks to do the same. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. We do have resolutions to present. If you want to take a photo as well. And as I mentioned earlier, October is also National Bullying Prevention Month. Bullying is repeated and unwanted aggressive behavior that involves an imbalance of power, and it can have devastating effects on any of us at school or at work. There's also a newer and darker version of bullying that takes place in the virtual world. Cyberbullying can occur via text messages, email, or on social media, and it features the added awfulness of instant wide reach and potential anonymity. Unfortunately, bullying is something that most of us have experienced at some point in our lives. 20% of students report being bullied in the past year, including more girls than boys. The most common things that students report being bullied about are their race and ethnicity, gender, disability, religion, and sexual orientation. Students who are bullied are at an increased risk for depression, anxiety, sleep difficulties, lower academic achievement, and dropping out of school. Fortunately, school-based bullying programs are shown to reduce bullying by up to 25%, and each of us can help reduce bullying and its negative effects by pledging to speak up when we see it and to be role models of acceptance. You can learn more about bullying and how to stand up to it at stopbullying.gov. And lastly, this is also National Cybersecurity Awareness Month. As more and more of our lives are spent online and our data and personal information moves to the websites and apps that we rely on, we need to be more and more vigilant in the fight against cybercrime. For instance, 1 in 3 home computers are infected with a malicious software. 47% of American adults have had their personal information exposed by cyber criminals, and 600,000 Facebook accounts are hacked every single day. Here to tell us more about cybersecurity and how we can all make ourselves a little safer online is Nikki Milburn from the county's data center. Good morning, Nikki.
Good morning, Commissioners, Madam President Crawley, and County Administrator Wilson. Thank you so much for the opportunity to come and talk about Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Cybersecurity is one of those things very near and dear to my heart, and I appreciate the continued support that you guys have provided to us and ensuring the infrastructure here at Franklin County. Cybersecurity Awareness Month really draws focus on how we need to pay attention to the ever-changing world of technology, how we use it, Internet of Things. There is a lot of risk out there associated with it, but there are a lot of true benefits from it too. Being able to have services available to everyone in the county at the click of a button. So if they're going to your website and they're requesting services from you, or they're calling 911, there's computer systems on the back end of that that are allowing them to get that service that they need in time of need. Okay, I can stand still. Not good at that. So what we have to do is try to protect that infrastructure as best we can. Ransomware is the one that scares me the most. And the reason being is it stops those services that are available to the people of the county that are relying on them. If they call 911, we have to reroute things, we have to change things. If they're trying to reach out to animal control, they may not be able to see what's available. It impacts every part of the county, it impacts every part of our lives. So there are things that we can do, not just at work, but at home. The same rules apply. Use a long, complex password. Harder to break. The longer it is, the harder it is to break. Moving to passphrases. Biometrics. It's hard for someone to steal your thumb or your face. That's a lot more difficult. Using biometrics helps. Multi-factor authentication. I know people don't like it. It's time consuming. It's a little cumbersome. It goes a long way. I can steal your username and password, but gosh, to take someone's phone and be able to unlock it, open it, and actually complete that MFA request, quite impressive. Or to intercept that traffic, that's a lot harder to do. So MFA is huge. And you had mentioned people having malware and viruses on their PCs. Keep it updated. Have an antivirus running on there, a paid subscription. They get threat intelligence from around the world. So if there's something that happens, let's say somewhere in Spain, they're seeing a malware outbreak, that gets fed to those antivirus companies. They're looking for signatures and hashes of that malware. That actually feeds in, and as long as you're keeping that subscription up to date, you have that same intelligence that everybody else does. Operating system updates. If there's a vulnerability, make sure that you're doing the updates. You'll see that we have a pretty consistent patch cycle and update cycle here. That's what you need to do to make yourself more secure. If you're working at home, don't plug directly into the modem. Use a router. It kind of has a built-in firewall, or at least turn on the firewall on your computer. These are all simple things that we can do, and you probably really won't even notice a whole lot, but it goes a long way in preventing threats and preventing malicious actors from compromising you, your accounts. And again, that's home and work. Both of them apply. So I absolutely appreciate the opportunity to talk about cybersecurity and would love to have conversations if anyone wants to. So thank you.
Thank
Appreciate it.
you. Thank you, Nikki. We appreciate it. All right, on to the agenda. If I can get approval of the minutes for the October 11th, 2022 general session and the October 13th, 2022 briefing session.
Move approval of the minutes.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes,
Thank you. The minutes have been approved.
thank you. First up, we have engineer.
Resolution number 75322. Resolution awarding contract and approving contract bond to Danbert Incorporated for the Jefferson Township Maintenance Facility Site Development in the amount of $308,093.87.
Good morning, Commissioners and Administration. My name is Jim Ramsey. I'm the Repair and Environmental Engineer for County Engineer Cornell Robertson. Commissioners, this resolution seeks to award the contract and approve the contract bond to Danbert Incorporated for the Jefferson Township Maintenance Facility Site Development. This project is located in northeast Franklin County in Jefferson Township off Havens Corners Road and seeks to construct new pavement and stormwater infrastructure at the Jefferson Township Maintenance Facility. Danbert was selected via the competitive bid process with a bid opening on September 8th, 1922. This is a locally funded project, and Engineer Robertson's EBE program has been implemented. The EBE goal is 5%, and JST Enterprises and Garcia Surveyors are the EBE contractors. The utilization plan form submitted by Danbert anticipates exceeding their 5% goal with an actual EBE percentage of 6.78%. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of resolution 75322.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes,
Resolution number 75322 has been adopted.
Thank you.
thank you. Have a great day. Next up, economic development and planning.
Resolution number 75422. Resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Carol E. Blanton at 478 Benson Drive, Groveport, Ohio, 43125.
Good morning, Commissioners and Administration. I'm Jalice Tiruchalvam, Administrative Assistant for EDP. My first resolution is for Ms. Carol E. Blanton. She received on May 13, 2009 from Franklin County a home loan for $15,000 on real estate, commonly known as 478 Benson Drive, Groveport. The requirements of the housing loan have been satisfied. The property taxes are paid and current. Pending any questions, I respectfully request the approval of the discharge of mortgage on this property.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of resolution 75422.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes,
Resolution number 75422 has been adopted. Resolution number 75522. Resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Derek M. Brumfield at 1576 Hillcrest Avenue, Columbus, Ohio, 43207.
Derek M. Broomfield received on April 27, 2011 from Franklin County a home loan for $15,000 on real estate, commonly known as 1576 Hillcrest Avenue, Columbus. The requirements of the housing loan have been satisfied, and I respectfully request the approval of the discharge of mortgage on this property.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of resolution 75522.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
yes,
Resolution number 75522 has been adopted. Resolution number 75622. Resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Richard L. Humphrey at 2580 Valley View Drive, Columbus, Ohio, 43204.
Richard L. Humphrey received on September 28, 2009 from Franklin County home loan for $15,000 on real estate, commonly known as 2580 Valley View Drive, Columbus. The requirements of the housing loan have been satisfied. The property taxes are paid and current, and I respectfully request the approval of the discharge of mortgage on this property.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 75622.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 75622 has been adopted. Resolution number 75722, resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Ralston G. Johnson at 4178 Elburn Avenue, Whitehall, Ohio, 43213.
Ralston G. Johnson received on June 20, 2007 from Franklin County a home loan for $15,000 on real estate, commonly known as 4178 Elburn Avenue, Whitehall. The requirements of the housing loan have been satisfied. The property taxes are paid and current. And pending any questions, I respectfully request the approval of the discharge of mortgage on this property.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 75722.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 75722 has been adopted. Resolution number 75822, resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Erica R. Mackey at 3668 Washburn Street, Whitehall, Ohio, 43213.
Erica R. Mackey received on April 16, 2007 from Franklin County a home loan for $15,000 on real estate, commonly known as 3668 Washburn Street, Whitehall. The requirements of the housing loan have been satisfied, and the property taxes are paid and current, and I respectfully request the approval of the discharge of mortgage on this property.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 75822.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 75822 has been adopted. Resolution number 75922, resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Janet A. Maddox, a.k.a. Janet A. Widener, at 4926 Meadowbrook Drive, Columbus, Ohio, 43207.
Janet A. Maddox, also known as Janet A. Widener, received on April 25, 2011 from Franklin County a home loan for $15,000 on real estate, commonly known as 4926 Meadowbrook Drive, Columbus. The requirements of the housing loan have been satisfied. The property taxes are paid and current, and I respectfully request the approval of the discharge of mortgage on this property.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 75922.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 75922 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You
Next
too.
up, thank you, Fleet Management.
Resolution number 76022, resolution authorizing the purchase of mobile offices in the amount of $938,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Charlotte Ashcraft, Director of Fleet Management. The resolution before you is to purchase 2 mobile offices. In 2021, an existing vehicle was repurposed to be used as a mobile office for various county agencies. County administration requested the agencies go out into the community and offer assistance in signing up for our services. This model was very well received, and the community need quickly outpaced our capacity. Fleet Management and the staff of the Health and Human Services divisions researched the options for an additional mobile office. We visited multiple local companies and agencies within Franklin County who already had existing mobile offices to gather as much information as possible in advance of our own design of a mobile office. Farber Specialty Vehicles has a national contract for the building of this type of vehicle. Farber is a local company and worked with our team to design a versatile and adaptable unit. Our goal in design was to allow for all Franklin County agencies the ability to utilize the mobile office, but to always keep front and center our customer focus. In the discussion and the design, we determined that the need for this type of vehicle was great and that 2 units would be practical. The agencies that can utilize this model are Job and Family Services, Office on Aging, Child Support Enforcement, Justice Policy and Programs, Office of Diversity, Equity and Inclusion, Human Resources, Economic Development and Planning, and Public Relations, just to name a few. Any agency that interacts with the citizens and impacts the lives of the county can now take their office to the community. This resolution, which includes the drawing of the unit, is the culmination of many months of work to bring to life a new delivery model for Franklin County services for every resident every day. I believe Joy Bivens, Assistant County Administrator, wanted to speak on this as well.
Good morning, Commissioners. Joy Bivens, Deputy County Administrator of Health and Human Services, and thank you, Director. I just wanted to touch on it really quick. Back in 2017, 2018, when we did a poverty blueprint plan, the community stated that they needed more accessibility, more convenience, and more equity. We see the mobile units being an opportunity to provide just that. We've seen such a remarkable impact in people's lives just being able to provide those services in many of our desperate communities. But also we see an opportunity post-pandemic to provide an opportunity, not just brick and mortar. This delivery model system will be something that we would like to see embedded across all of our human service agencies, not just in other agencies as well, not just under the Board of Commissioners. So that is why we have had extensive conversations with Children's Services, as well as veterans, as well as Adam Age, so that the spectrum of services that families and residents can receive on these mobile units can be just that, the spectrum of services. Going forward, we're going to start looking and having more conversations with our shelter board as it relates to providing business hours with our mobile units, standing business hours, because we understand that traffic is transient and 62% of that population is made of African American mothers who are working or in school. And again, going back to being able to provide convenience, accessibility, and equity. We also see an opportunity in providing and supporting our community partners as it relates to some of our most pressing issues, particularly not just infant mortality, but also children being ready for kindergarten. Currently, right now in Franklin County, 74% of Black children are not ready for kindergarten, and every year 11,000 children will not be ready. We would like to leverage these mobile units to support the Commissioner's RISE initiative to disseminate information and disseminate resources in some of those most concentrated areas where we see some of our younger children. Again, we support this resolution, and with me today I have, I think, all of our human service agencies under the Board of Commissioners, but this is going to be made up of a cross-trained team under all of our human service agencies so that every resident every day can receive whatever service they need, and transportation is never an issue.
Well, if there are no comments or questions, I will certainly move approval of Resolution 76022.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 76022 has been adopted.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So you got your mobile units, the people got their mobile units. What? No, we're good right now. Let's get these out on the street. But it's a really great thing. I'm glad that resolution came today. Next up, we have Job and Family Services.
Resolution number 76122, resolution approving a COVID-19 recovery grant with Impact Community Action for the Housing Stability Navigator Program in the amount of $399,351.96.
Good morning, Commissioners. Vivian Turner, Chief Administrator for Job and Family Services. The Family Housing Stability Navigator Pilot is a partnership with Impact Community Action, which looks to equip families with the tools and skills necessary for long-term household and financial stability. The pilot takes a multi-generational approach, focusing on some of the most vulnerable families, foster youth, families with chronic housing instability, parents with substance abuse issues, low-income teen parents, and communities in our county. Families will be connected with resources through Impact with the primary goal of reducing the length of time families spend in homelessness, assisting household members with obtaining permanent housing, limiting the number of individuals that return to homelessness, housing, or housing insecurity, and enrolling families in additional services that will assist them with self-sufficiency. Upon completion of the training, participants will take courses to promote wealth building. In the initial year of the pilot, the Housing Stability Navigator program assisted over 125 families with their housing needs, with 70% successfully completing the program. This resolution provides funding to support year 2 of this 3-year pilot. During the second year, Impact will look to serve 200 families with 80% of the families completing services. In addition to assessing the efficacy of this program over the length of the pilot, the Housing Stability Navigator team will also develop a funding strategy and identify funding resources beyond the federal ARPA dollars to ensure sustainability beyond the 3-year pilot. This pilot aligns with goal number 6 of your Rise Together blueprint, and pending any questions, we request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 76122.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 76122 has been adopted. Resolution number 76222. Resolution approving subboard agreements with multiple community agencies for the Franklin County In-School Youth Comprehensive Case Management and Employment Program in the amount of $5,045,000.
Commissioners, the Comprehensive Case Management and Employment Program, branded by Franklin County as Achieve More and Prosper, or AMP, promotes academic and employment success by reducing barriers and providing opportunities for secondary and post-secondary education, training, and credentials that lead to employment. The program blends both TANF and WIOA, the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act funds, to cover year-round services and programs including credit recovery and GED, subsidized and unsubsidized work experiences, vocational and occupational skills training, case management, supportive services, and follow-up services. In March, our agency and the Workforce Development Board of Central Ohio released a joint RFP for providers to serve in-school youth and out-of-school youth. 4 agencies were awarded contracts. 4 agencies were recommended for contracts to serve in-school youth: the Columbus Literacy Council, Impact Community Action, Lead the Way Academy, and St. Stephen's Community House. Together, these providers are projected to serve approximately 1,100 youth year-round. This resolution aligns with your Rise Together blueprint goal number 11, and pending any questions, we request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 76222.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 76222 has been adopted. Resolution number 76322. Resolution approving subboard agreements with multiple community agencies for the Franklin County Out-of-School Youth Comprehensive Case Management and Employment Program in the amount of $5,428,000.
The Out-of-School Youth AMP program promotes academic and employment success by reducing barriers and promoting opportunities for secondary and post-secondary education, training, and credentials that lead to employment, and provides similar services to the in-school youth. As stated before, in March, our agency partnered with the Workforce Development Board of Central Ohio to release a joint RFP for providers to serve in-school and out-of-school youth. 5 local providers were recommended to support out-of-school youth, and they include the Academy for Urban Scholars and Eckerd and Impact Community Action, which were previous providers, and 2 new providers were selected: Goodwill Industries of Columbus and Youthville Columbus Community School. Together, these agencies are estimated to serve 950 out-of-school youth through September of next year. Again, these agreements align with goal number 3 of your Rise Together blueprint, and pending any questions, we request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 76322.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 76322 has been adopted. Resolution number 76422, resolution approving a subaward agreement with the Center for Healthy Families Incorporated for teen parenting and pregnancy prevention services in the amount of $250,000.
Commissioners, this resolution supports the Center for Healthy Families to provide coaching and support for more than 3,000 teen families in Franklin County since 2009. The Healthy Families Connection Collaborative is a community and school-based program for teen parents. It uses evidence-based interventions that promote personal growth in the areas of health and wellness, parenting interventions, early childhood development, education, and career planning. They help create customized goal plans for pregnant and parenting teams, working toward the ultimate goals of ensuring teen moms give birth to healthy babies, avoiding subsequent pregnancies, and graduating high school. They also place an emphasis on fostering healthy and supportive co-parenting relationships. Under this new agreement, the center will assist 100 TANF-eligible pregnant and parenting teens throughout Franklin County. The Center for Healthy Families is also a partner with Child Support Enforcement through their Charting a Course for Economic Mobility and Responsible Parenting Grant Project. We will work with CSEA and the center to extend the full array of programming to parenting teams that is available through both the grant-funded project as well as the community collaborative programming. This resolution aligns with goal number 8 of your Rise Together blueprint, and pending any questions, we request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 7.
I'm sorry, I did have, to follow up on my questions last week about this resolution and working with child support to make sure that, since child support has their grants and they were, supposed to be working with different stakeholders in the community to serve pregnant teens or teens that are parents, I wanted a little bit more clarification since they already have a major grant to provide resources. How is the Center for Healthy Families factor into the work that is being done at the Office on Child Support targeting the same population?
Yes, basically that under the child support grant, the Center for Healthy Families is one of their subcontractors. So they are actively participating in that new grant program, as well as providing the historical services for teen parents that we currently support. But we'll work with CSEA and the center to make sure that basically teen parents are offered the services across both programs.
Okay, so they are a sub-grant participant through
Yes.
under the grant that CSEA has, but then
Yes.
we're also giving them resources now for the same thing.
So we historically, we've been funding this initiative since 2009, specifically targeting in-school kids, teen parents in school to help keep them in school. So basically, we believe that the services will complement one another. The grant basically can serve beyond TANF-eligible families,
Right.
Commissioner.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the UZ criteria. They don't have to be TANF-eligible in the under the grant services.
They don't have to be, but they could be as well.
They could
though.
be.
Right.
They could
And
be,
these
yes.
are tenant.
So we look at it as they will be able to serve more youth, more teen parents throughout Franklin County.
Okay, because the grant doesn't specify how many youth could be served, but I know in this it's 100. I know you want to speak to it.
So Commissioner, with us today is our Assistant Director of Child Support who can speak to the grant that is being received by Child Support.
Okay.
Yep. Commissioner, so the The Center for our grant will be working with our peer educators. We're also delivering the No Kidding curriculum out in the schools. So our individuals also don't have to be TANF eligible. So there'll be a mix of the populations that we'll both be serving. We're serving 16 to 24-year-olds. I'm sorry, I missed that piece. Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
All right. If there are no further comments or questions, then I'll move approval of Resolution 76422.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 76422 has been adopted. Resolution number 76522. Resolution approving a subaward agreement with Action for Children for quality early learning support and child care training services in the amount of $394,000.
Commissioners, Action for Children will continue to offer mandatory child care provider training to include child abuse recognition and prevention of communicable disease recognition and prevention, and pediatric CPR and first aid for family home providers pursuing or maintaining their professional license. Along with supporting child care providers, Action for Children will also offer child care linkage services for parents seeking quality child care. During the last award period, Action for Children referred over 470 families to publicly funded child care. They also assisted over 200 child care educators in completing the training required to become or maintain family child care provider licenses. Under this agreement, Action for Children will pre-screen and link approximately 500 eligible families and continue to train home providers throughout the fiscal year of October 1st through September 30th. This resolution aligns with goal number 13 of your Rise Together Blueprint, and pending any questions, we request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 76522.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 76522 has been adopted. Resolution number 76622. Resolution approving a subaward agreement with the Educational Service Center of Central Ohio on behalf of the Franklin County Family and Children First Council for trauma-informed care training in the amount of $675,000.
Commissioners, this last resolution supports the Franklin County Family and Children's First Council's Building Better Lives initiative, which helps support educators and other professionals better understand the impact of adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs, on youth brain development, and design and apply appropriate trauma-informed interventions for at-risk students. The ultimate goal is to help students foster executive functioning skills needed to succeed academically, attain a high school diploma, and transition successfully to post-secondary education or employment. In this last award period, FCFC trained over 954 educators throughout the Southwestern School District. The program reported a 29% decrease in the amount of time spent in out-of-school suspensions as just one indicator of success. The BBL team also offered training for local nonprofits to help cope with the impact of COVID-19 on youth and reached over 1,100 community members. Under this new agreement, FCFC will launch the Building Better Lives initiative in the Reynoldsburg School District. The schools will include Livingston High School, Hannah Ashton Middle School, and Baldwin Road Middle School will receive training. This resolution supports goal number 11 of your Rise Together Blueprint, and pending any questions, we request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 76622.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 76622 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Have a great day. Next, we have Justice Policy and Programs.
Resolution number 76722. Resolution authorizing receipt of Franklin County's fiscal year 2020 Title V Community Prevention Block and Planning Grants and granting authority to the county administrator to sign all acceptance documents and waivers related to the grant program in the amount of $245,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Melissa Gibson, Chief Operating Officer with the Office of Justice Policy and Programs. Commissioners, the Title V Community Prevention Block funding is awarded by the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention and then passed through the Ohio Department of Youth Services to Franklin County. Funding is to be used to develop and/or enhance delinquency prevention programs that focus on assisting at-risk youth by reducing risk factors and enhancing protective factors in the schools, communities, and within our families. The block award amount of $235,000 reflects a 37% increase over the award provided last year. In addition to the block award, the Ohio Department of Youth Services has authorized a $10,000 planning grant to support management and administration. And additionally, we are requesting authorization for the county administrator to sign all acceptance documents. Upon approval of acceptance of this award, individual subrecipient awards will be brought before the Board of Commissioners for approval. Commissioners, this resolution aligns with goal number 11 of the Rise Together Blueprint. And pending any questions, we would ask for your approval to accept the Title V block and planning grant awards.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 767-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 767-22 has been adopted. Resolution number 768-22. Resolution authorizing a professional service contract agreement with Tanisha Drummond for peer support and case management services for residents served via Safer Station in the amount of $35,000.
Commissioners, as you're aware, our office launched the Safer Stations on the west side of Columbus in early September to provide a walk-in center for individuals who wish to be immediately linked and transported to treatment, receive harm reduction, including distribution of Narcan, case management services, and basic wound care. The heart of Safer Stations is the staff who provide support and case management, and most importantly, hope, as many of our staff have lived experiences themselves. The resolution requests your approval of a contract with Ms. Tanisha Drummond for the provision of peer support during the evening and weekend hours at Safer Stations. Ms. Drummond brings a wealth of experience to her role, including work as a certified financial empowerment coach and HUD certified housing advisor. Ms. Drummond will be the first peer hired by OJPP to be certified as a family peer support specialist by NAMI. Funding to support this contract in the amount of $35,000 will be provided through an FY20 comprehensive opioid, stimulant, and other substances of abuse discretionary grant. This resolution aligns with goal number 9 of the Rise Together Blueprint. Pending any questions, we would ask for your approval of this contract.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 768-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 768-22 has been adopted.
Thanks, Commissioners.
Thank you. Have a great day. Next up, we have Public Facilities Management.
Resolution number 769-22. Resolution authorizing the county administrator to execute a modification to the contract agreement with Farber Corporation to perform additional plumbing activities associated with the construction of the Franklin County Corrections Center Continuation Phase 2A in the amount of the contract not to exceed $144,470, and authorizing the county administrator to approve and execute additional minor modifications to the contract agreement in the amount of $5,126,470.
Good morning, Commissioners. Darla Reardon, Director, Public Facilities Management. In February of 2021, Farber Corporation was awarded a contract agreement to perform plumbing activities associated with construction of the continuation phase of the new Franklin County Corrections Center. This resolution authorizes a modification of the contract agreement with Farber to perform additional plumbing activities associated with the construction of the new Rapid Resource Center at the Corrections Center. PFM and the construction team have been closely collaborating with the Office of Justice Policy and Programs on the new Rapid Resource Center. Farber is a certified LEDE, a local economically disadvantaged enterprise. As you are aware, the Correction Center project has an established small and emerging business enterprise, SEBE, aspirational goal of 12%. This project remains on track to exceed the aspirational goal with an SEBE commitment of 30.19%, approximately $89.4 million as of the end of September of this year. Pending any questions, PFM respectfully requests your approval of this contract modification with Farber Corporation.
Well, if there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 769-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 769-22 has been adopted. Resolution number 770-22. Resolution authorizing the county administrator to execute a modification to the contract agreement with Castle Technologies Company LLC to perform additional communication activities associated with the construction of the Franklin County Correction Center Continuation Phase 2A in the amount of the contract not to exceed $101,915, and authorizing the county administrator to approve and execute additional minor modifications to the agreement in the amount of $1,717,915.
In February of 2021, Castle Technologies Company LLC was awarded a contract agreement to perform communications activities associated with construction of the continuation phase of the new Franklin County Correction Center. This resolution authorizes a modification of the contract agreement with Castle to perform additional communications activities associated with the construction of the new Rapid Resource Center. Pending any questions, PFM respectfully requests your approval of this contract modification.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 770-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 770-22 has been adopted. Resolution number 771-22. Resolution approving a no-cost agreement with T-Mobile and authorizing the county administrator to sign on behalf of the Board of Commissioners.
Franklin County entered into a lease with Sprint in 2012 to allow the installation of repeaters inside the 345 South High Street building. Sprint and T-Mobile have recently merged, and there is a need to migrate the existing Sprint system over to the T-Mobile network. In order to provide continued coverage, this no-cost agreement will allow the necessary migration of existing repeaters within the 345 South High Street building. Pending any questions, PFM respectfully requests your approval of this agreement.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 771-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 771-22 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Have a good one. Next up, purchasing.
Resolution number 772-22. Resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $1,142,215.01.
Good morning, Commissioner. Sharon Sabri, Fiscal Support Analyst, and I'm sitting in for Director Megan Perry-Ballinier. And joining me will be D'Amico Withers, Chief Economic and Equity and Inclusion Officer in the Office of Diversity, Equity and Inclusion. This resolution requests your approval of 51 purchase orders for which the county auditor has pre-certified available funding. D'Amica has the supplier diversity data for this week. Good morning, D'Amica.
Good morning, Sharon. Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. 4 of the purchase orders being presented will be awarded to 1 local economically disadvantaged enterprise, 1 small emerging business enterprise, and 2 women business enterprise, totaling $19,079.67. 4 of county agencies have increased their supplier diversity this week, which includes Child Support Enforcement Agency, Sanitary Engineering, Justice Policy and Programs, and Domestic Relations and Juvenile Court. Pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
There are no comments or questions. I'll move approval of Resolution 77222.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 77222 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, do we have any journalization?
We do not.
Are there any members of the media in person or online that would like to ask any questions? All right, hearing and seeing none, with no additional business coming before the board, we are adjourned. Have a wonderful Tuesday, and a happy Tuesday too.